My name is Eleanor Mitchell, and I am 34 years old. I have built an empire from dust and desperation, but tonight I am walking back into the one place that still has the power to make me feel like a scared little girl with dirt on her knees. The grand reopening of the Obsidian, my hotel, also happens to be my father's 70th birthday. The party is in my ballroom, the champagne is from my cellar, but the guests are his. They are the same people who patted my head and told my parents, "Don't worry, she'll find her path," when what they really meant was, "When will your daughter stop her foolish dreaming and get a real job?" They have no idea that I own the very ground they are standing on, and I have every intention of telling them. The hook for tonight, the little surprise I've orchestrated, is not just the reveal, it's the guest of honor, me. They think I'm just the event coordinator, the hired help they can condescend to. They believe my father, the revered retired cardiologist, is the generous host, treating them all to an evening at the city's most exclusive new establishment. The irony is so thick I could serve it for dessert. I smoothed down the emerald green silk of my dress, a garment that cost more than my first month's mortgage on this place. It's my armor. I check my reflection in the polished brass of the elevator doors. My hair is swept up. My posture is perfect. But my eyes hold the ghost of every sleepless night, every rejected loan application, every time I was told I wasn't good enough. The doors slide open with a soft sigh, and the sound of a string quartet and clinking glasses washes over me. The ballroom is a vision of understated opulence, low lighting catching the crystal facets of the chandeliers, dark mahogany reflecting the flickering candlelight, floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the city skyline like a glittering jewel box. I built this. I chose every fabric, every piece of art, every spoon. And then I see them. They're holding court near the massive marble fireplace, a perfect tableau of familial judgment. My father, Charles, stands with his back ramrod straight, a gin and tonic in his hand, already regaling a circle of admirers with some story. My mother, Beatrice, is a vision in icy blue chiffon, her smile a practiced, brittle thing as she nods along. And my sister, Charlotte, perfect Charlotte, the pediatric surgeon, the one who followed the script. Her laugh rings out, sharp and bright, a sound that has always felt like a needle pricking my skin. I take a deep breath, the scent of gardenias from the towering centerpieces filling my lungs, and I walk into the lion's den. "Ah, there she is," my father booms, his voice cutting through the polite chatter. His eyes sweep over me, not with pride, but with appraisal. "Eleanor, you clean up well. The place looks adequate. I was just telling everyone how you managed to land the event planning gig here. Quite a step up from that taco truck venture?" A few people in the circle offer thin, sympathetic smiles. Charlotte smirks behind her champagne flute. "The gourmet food truck, Dad." I correct him, my voice calm, a still lake hiding a turbulent undertow. "And it did very well. It helped fund this." I gesture around us. "Well, of course, dear," my mother says, her tone dripping with placation. "It's lovely that you have a little job. It must be so exciting to be around all this grandeur without the responsibility of it all." She leans in and faux whispers to the woman next to her. "She's always been such a free spirit. We never could get her to focus on anything serious." The humiliation is a familiar burn in my chest. It's the same feeling I had at 12 when I presented my father with a business plan for a lemonade stand and he'd corrected my grammar instead of praising my initiative. It's the same feeling I had at 22 when I announced I wasn't going to medical school and he didn't speak to me for a month. "Actually, Mother," I say, my voice gaining a slight edge, "the responsibility is rather significant." But my father isn't listening. He's already moved on. "Charlotte, tell the group about the new neonatal wing you're heading. Now that's an achievement. Saving lives." As Charlotte launches into a predictably self-deprecating yet utterly proud monologue about her work, I feel myself receding, shrinking back into the shadow I've always occupied in this family. The disappointment, the diversion, the one who chose hotels over healing. An older man, a friend of my father's from the golf club, approaches me. "So, Eleanor, your father says you're the one we talked to about the wine. I must say, the 95 Bordeaux is exceptional. You must have a very generous boss to allow such a pour. I look at him, a plan crystallizing in my mind. The gentle approach is not going to work. They don't hear gentle. They only understand power. The owner has excellent taste, and she insists on nothing but the best for her guests. The man blinks, slightly confused by my pronoun choice, but just nods and wanders off. The evening grinds on, an exquisite torture of backhanded compliments and dismissive glances. I circulate, playing my part, listening to the whispers. Is that the Mitchell girl? The one who never quite... I heard she had a nervous breakdown. Charles and Beatrice are saints for putting up with it. Each word is a shard of glass, but I let them cut me. I collect every single one. I am building a mosaic of my own vindication. The suspense builds inside me, a tightly coiled spring. I wait for the perfect moment. It arrives when my father taps his knife against his glass, calling for everyone's attention.
Friends, family, he begins, his voice warm with gin and affection. Thank you all for coming to celebrate this milestone with me. 70 years, who would have thought? A ripple of laughter moves through the crowd. And thank you for indulging me by having it at this stunning new hotel. When my daughter Eleanor told me she could get us a good rate, I thought, why not? It's nice to see her finally involved in something respectable. He smiles at me, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. It's a public performance of paternal support, and it is utterly hollow. He continues, it reminds me of when the girls were little. Charlotte always with her medical kits diagnosing us all, and Eleanor, he chuckles, Eleanor was always building elaborate forts out of sheets and chairs. I suppose some things never change. The crowd laughs with him. They are laughing at me. I can see it in their eyes. I am a charming anecdote, a quirky footnote in the great serious story of the Mitchell family. That's when I move. I walk towards him, my heels clicking softly on the polished stone floor. The crowd parts for me. The air grows still. Thank you for that lovely trip down memory lane, Dad, I say, taking the glass from his hand. My voice is clear and carries to the very back of the room. It doesn't sound like my voice. It sounds like the voice of the woman who faced down bankers and contractors and doubt. All eyes are on me. My mother's face is frozen in a mask of horror. Charlotte's smirk is gone, replaced by confusion. You're right, I continue, addressing the room. Some things never change. I am still building. But the forts, made of sheets and chairs, they became a business degree. They became a food truck that turned a profit in its first year. They became the capital for my first boutique hotel in Vermont, which Travel and Leisure just named one of the top 10 resorts in New England. A murmur goes through the crowd. My father's face is beginning to turn a faint shade of purple. And those sheets and chairs, I say, my voice dropping, becoming more intimate, more powerful. They became this. I spread my arms, encompassing the entire magnificent ballroom, the hotel, everything. My father mentioned I could get a good rate here. That's true. The rate for family is 100% off, because you can't charge yourself for your own birthday party, can you? The silence is absolute. You could hear a pin drop on the priceless Persian rug. What is she talking about, Charles? My mother hisses, her voice strained. I look directly at my father, whose expression is a storm of disbelief and dawning, horrifying understanding. I'm talking about the fact that I am not the event planner. I am the owner. The obsidian is mine. Every brick, every painting, every drop of that exceptional 95 Bordeaux, it's all mine. The shock in the room is a physical force. Gasps echo. My sister's mouth is hanging open. You? How? You didn't have the capital, the backing? Because you wouldn't co-sign a loan for me? I finish for him, my voice trembling now with a lifetime of pent-up emotion. No, you wouldn't. You told me it was a foolish fantasy, so I found backing elsewhere. I mortgaged everything I had from the food truck.
I presented my business plan to investors who cared about vision, not pedigree. And they believed in me. They believed in the obsidian. Tears are welling in my eyes, but they are not tears of sadness. They are tears of ferocious, hard-won triumph. You all came here tonight and you patted me on the head. You called me a free spirit. You praised my sister for saving lives, while dismissing me for building a place where people come to remember what it feels like to be alive, to celebrate, to love, to live. That is a kind of healing too. I turn back to my family. My mother looks pale. Charlotte seems to be reassessing every interaction we've ever had. My father just stares at me, truly seeing me for the first time. This is my house, I say, my voice finally breaking, but with strength, not weakness. This is my success, and you are my family. You don't have to be proud of me, but you will, from this moment on, respect me. The silence holds for one more second, 2. Then a single person begins to clap. It's the old man from the golf club. Then another person joins, and another. Soon the ballroom is filled with a thunderous, roaring applause. It's not for the dutiful daughter. It's for me, Eleanor, the builder, the dreamer, the owner. My father doesn't clap. He steps down from the little podium and walks towards me. The crowd falls silent again, watching. He stops in front of me, his eyes searching mine. I see the anger, the pride, the shock, the shame, all warring within him. He doesn't say anything. He just opens his arms. And I step into them. It's not a full surrender. It's not an apology. Not yet. But it's an acknowledgement. It's a beginning. As he holds me, this man who always demanded I be more, finally realizing I already was, I look over his shoulder at my hotel, my creation, my testament. The fort of sheets and chairs had finally, against all odds, become a castle. And I was finally, unquestionably, its queen. The dynamic had shifted, the narrative had been rewritten, and the story, my story, was only just beginning.